Ty.
Hi, Ty.
Hello, how are you? First of all, I love Animaniacs. I have been watching since I was like 4 years old.
Have you really? Have you been doing it nonstop? Your eyes must hurt really bad.
No, I have been doing this nonstop. Like I've watched the old episodes and the new ones. And what I want to say with the question is, one of the biggest issues that we have on social media pertains to queer content being introduced to children. Now, in the opening, which what I love is there's a frame where the show highlights gender fluidity and highlights folks who may identify as non-binary. Do you think conversations like this will help our youth? And if so, do you think the content like this in media will help steer better understanding and conversations of closed-minded individuals?
Yeah, of course. Like anytime you can highlight any of that will make everyone feel included. That's how I strongly believe that. So that we hear all the fans and we hear all the feedback and even all the conversations around like Walcko, and we want to try to lean into all that as much as we can. So
when we saw the line gender biased, pronoun neutral, and ethnically diverse, right, Gabe, in the new theme song, we're like, man, this is awesome because fun is universal and everybody should be able to enjoy it, man, with none of that stigma. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and in as much as we want to. We don't want to be everyone's instructor, but the little bit of knowledge and understanding that we can bring to children or our other fans, put in an entertaining way and a fun way is all good, because we can all learn to love each other and get along and have fun all together, no matter who we are.
Inclusion is faboo, basically.
Faboo.
Faboo. And that's in my dictionary. Thank you all so much.
Thank you for the beautiful question.
Thank you, Ty. We'll go to Dean next. Dean Rogers.
Dean Rogers.
Oh my goodness, Tress, you're making me blush right now just hearing my name.
Hello, Dean.
Hello, Jess. Nice to see you again. We saw your awesome comment years ago, so it's great to talk all three of you. My question is, we're about to start our second season of Animaniacs, woohoo, on November 5th. And I'd like to know, what was your favorite segment of the very first season from all three of you? What was your favorite segment?
Of this iteration or the very...
Yes, of this iteration, not way back, but of this one.
Well, for me, I hope you don't mind my speaking first, Jess. I would just like to get in my vote for all episodes that have me involved as the star. Those are the ones that are really, really good in my mind. Those stick out in my mind.
Excellent.
I loved the It parody that we did. I thought the Halloween show with where by the way, in one of the many, many subtle tips of the hat, the great writers of the show and artists behind the show they were dressed as the Marx Brothers, which is so cool because the Animaniacs, Yakko, Wacko, and Dot were originally sort of based on the Marx Brothers. So to have them in those costumes, I thought was fantastic. But I really, really loved that episode. Gabe, what about you? What do you think?
I'm also with you. Like one of my favorites is the Halloween episode with Pinky and the Brain. I loved that one. It was great.
Yeah, indeed.
Awesome. And I have to agree, the Halloween was my favorite episode, the first season. Just to hear you guys to say it. Excellent. Thank you guys so much.
Dean, it just goes to show you have impeccable taste, man. That's all that means.
Oh, thank you.
And don't forget my Zit song.
Yeah, the Zit song.
It's still stuck in my head.
I'm so sorry.
That was great too.
Thank you, Dean. All right, we'll be moving on to next question from Rick.
Hi, Rick.
Hey, there's Mr. Rick. There he is.
Yeah. Hey, I'm just curious. This series is now being played to a generation that you were the first group now has children.
Yes.
Is that sort of a weird concept to wrap around your head? And quickly on the second thing, you both have done so many voices. Was it hard to immediately go right back to that voice? And have you had to sort of avoid using it elsewhere over the years?
That's both good questions, man. As Tress and I have said a few times, it's like these voices in particular are part of our DNA, not only because we've never really stopped doing them at personal appearances and Comic-Cons and stuff, but because we love Walcko and Dot so much. In terms of the other thing you said, all that is, the idea of the two generations watching it together, Rick, is one of my absolute favorite things about doing the show. The idea of the fact that people who watch this when they were 8 years old can watch it with their 8-year-old, and they'll both find something to laugh at. My Might not be the same thing, but they'll both find something to laugh at. Just makes me happy, man. Tress, what about you?
Well, I wanted to say that Rick, you mentioned not doing that voice elsewhere, and there is a temptation to lapse into a voice that comes as naturally to you as Dot does to me. But you have to keep that voice special. It's only for Animaniacs, and so you have to find another voice to give to another cartoon who might want a similar type of character. But and that's happened over the years, and you go, oh, no, that sounds a little bit too much like Dot, so I can't do that. And so you have to switch things up because you want to keep that special. That's
why it's good, Rick, when you have a lot of crayons like Miss MacNeille does to color with. She can pick a different crayon.
I always like burnt sienna. I don't know why. I just think
that was my stage name for years was burnt sienna.
I know, it just sounds so cool.
Yeah. It's my porn name, but thanks. Thank you.
Thanks, Rick.
Thank you, Rick.
All right. Next question from Steve.
Hey, Steve.
Hey,
Steve
thank
Norton.
you all. I was just saying to the guys before we got in here that it feels like I'm speaking to part of the Mount Rushmore of voice talent. So I mean that genuinely. It's a real privilege to speak with you today.
We're not quite that old, but
that's fair. That's fair. But
Jess is kind of a chiseled type, right?
Indeed. Thank you, man.
That's a lot of rock right there.
That is a lot of rock. This is too much rock for one hand, Tress. That's what that is.
Well, I was wondering from you all, the Warners are such unique characters, and in their stories, I can't tell. They're certainly the protagonists. Are they heroes to you? And if so, what makes them heroes?
That they come to play, that they'll deal with us, that they'll stay in the room because, in real life, they would run screaming and we'd never see them again, but they come back again and again and again for more and more, well, let's not say abuse, but for more wacky hijinks.
You know what? I really like that question. I've never had that question before, Steve. It's like, to me, I think that it's more, they approach it from a place of, at least I guess I can make it just about Walcko for a second. He doesn't really understand if something is pedestalized and everybody's like revering it and going, oh, this is so amazing. Or this person is, I'm so amazing. I did this. He goes, why? Like, who are you? And why should we all be looking up to you? And what is it that's so great about you? But I don't think he's doing it from a place of like, meanness. I think he's like, well, tell me what's so awesome and maybe I'll believe it. You know what I mean? It's sort of like they're genuinely poking these holes in things that maybe deserve to have a couple holes poked in them in a benign sort of a way. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
I like that.
All right. Thanks so much.
Thank you, man. Thank you. God bless, man. It was nice meeting you.
Nice meeting
you. All right. We'll move on to our next question from Lou.
Lou Lamar Booker. Up Your Geek. There's the title.
Yes.
Hello, Lou.
Hello.
He's got lots of nice art and background. Looking good.
I'd like to.
Very nice.
I'd like
Did we
to
all
tell
sign
you
up
guys.
for you?
No. Shame on you. Shame on you.
I know.
No. Not yet. Right. First of all, I've been a fan of. I've seen every Animaniacs from the beginning. I'm currently rewatching the originals with my kids.
You got kids?
Yes, and they were really excited about the new reiteration of this. How excited were you guys, and I guess Gabe too, like when you guys were coming up with the idea of bringing the show back, what went into that? And for the stars there, did you guys just jump at this when the idea came around to you?
Gabe, why don't you start?
Well, it all started with Steven. He said he wanted to do more. And just him saying that sentence was enough to have like companies bidding to make the show, Wow. And then it was a matter of like, who can make it? Who can they get? Can they sucker into this to try to do it? And Wellesley and I were very nervous, very, very nervous. We both said no a couple times to the project because we were really worried about what the fans would think about a new show. and luckily, you know, Amblin and everybody had a lot of faith in us, and we did what we thought was good, and luckily the fans also loved what we liked about the show. So that's basically what happened.
Is in terms of us, I think I speak for Tress when I say, Lou, that all we were concerned about if we were going to do it again. We've been very blessed to have worked continually since Animaniacs, which may not have been the case. They might have been looking for us in a trailer park someplace, but fortunately we'd all continued to work. Our primary concern was that we were going to honor the original show, that we were going to make sure it maintained that level of quality. Because honestly, I would have rather had it end as it was, being remembered as a great thing, than having it come back and people go, yeah, but it wasn't nearly as good as it used to be. Isn't it kind of a drag? I didn't want that. So when they talked to us about it, we were all like, sounds good. And then they said Steven was involved, and we went, sounds better. And then we met the new team, and we saw the scripts, and we got to know Gabe, we got to know Wells, and we got to know the team that they put together, who are so amazing and so just so great at what they do, and they give us such good stuff to work with, that we went, okay, we're safe, we're in good hands, and we knew that we were going to honor the legacy of what it was and what it meant to folks like you know.
And it was an all new crew for us. We didn't know Gabe and Wellesley, and so the actors were a little scared, you know, to go in and meet these people and put ourselves in their hands, and because, you know, we have to do what we're told. We're not in charge, and we were just hoping for the best, and we were greatly relieved almost immediately, because we could see that we were going to be in very good hands.
Yeah,
it's very collaborative too. Like, we really tapped into their knowledge of the characters, and you know, it's a big team effort. It's not.
It's a great thing, man.
I'm glad that you said yes. I actually finished watching season 2 last night.
The whole season? Oh no!
I did. I absolutely binged it.
Oh wow! Well, you see more episodes than I have then.
Me too, buddy. Good for you. I'm glad you liked it. Thanks, Lou.
I hope it was good.
It was awesome.
Thank you, Lou.
All right, we are almost at time, but Hayden, I know we didn't get to have you ask a question yet, so we'll finish up with you.
Yeah, Hayden, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
All right, great.
Good.
My question kind of revolves around the Animaniacs status as an animated show. I mean, one of its most endearing aspects, both the original show and the revival, is the immense joy it takes in being a cartoon. And how is this revival kind of pushing or reinforcing this medium that is already defined by pushing, stretching, and defying reality?
Wow, Gabe, you want to start with that one?
Well, I think when we first had our meetings with Steven, I brought to him, I was like, look at all these things that are happening right now in animation. And and he was just like, oh yeah, we could do all that. And that's what I loved about it. It's just the variety. You know, it's like, it's hard enough to make a traditionally animated show nowadays, because it's just not done. But then to put all these other styles and all these other mediums in there too, is just really makes it unique. You know, I think that's the way that we can push it. You know, and keep all the social commentary and all that stuff in there too. But as animation, I think that's the key, you know.
Well, stylistically, Gabe is such a great animator, man, and it's like they've done this stuff. Like you probably saw the anime segment in the first season where we were anime characters, and they just knocked that out of the park. And then they're doing this Thundercats thing in the new season where they're going to that kind of style, and they're sort of readapting these familiar images and characters into these new and different and varied styles that always just leave me knocked out, man. I'm like, wow, amazing.
And right from the get-go, I always thought that Animaniacs was easy on the eye. It was easy on the ear, and it was easy on the eye. You know, I mean, great music, and a lot of shows now, I won't say who, but, you know, I mean, a lot of the characters are kind of ugly. And so I always thought that Animaniacs was easy on the eye and easy on the ear.
And still is, no matter what style these guys put it in. It still looks great.
Yeah.
We're just having fun, and we hope that the audience is like coming along with us. You know,
hang in.
Thank you.
Very well done.
Thank you, Hayden.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for the good.